In my last video, I discussed why we should be excited for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order as well as what to expect. Today, I'll be going over the basics of Cal Kestis, our young Jedi protagonist, as well as some other character details. Now, none of this will be in the spoiler territory, not really. I'll cover a couple planets that we'll be visiting, but that's about it. After that, I'll also be going over a few things I left out in my first video. That being said, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about our young Jedi friend. As we know, the story follows Cal Kestis, the last remaining Jedi at that time, or at least that's what we're led to believe. He is of course played by Cameron Mohan, who is best known for his roles in Gotham and Shameless, both of which are great shows. So this tells us that the acting, at least from our protagonist side, will be top notch. Now, Cal is still a Padawan when starting this game. This is very unlike Force Unleashed, where you were powerful from the start. Here, the point of the game, at least in my opinion, is to witness Cal turn into the Jedi that he's meant to become. Our goal is to adventure around these planets, hoping to re-establish the Jedi Order. Keep in mind that this all takes place after Order 66, the plan that wiped out almost the entirety of the Jedi Order. Now, we don't know all the planets we'll be adventuring in, but we can name 4 of them off. The cool thing about this is that you're not really on a linear path, not exactly. You actually get to choose what planets you wish to visit first. For instance, in the start of the game, you'll start on Baca, a planet our young Jedi has decided to take refuge on when Order 66 was placed. Now, this planet is basically a salvage yard filled with abandoned starships, which I'm sure we'll end up making one of these starships our own at some point. After that, you'll actually have 2 choices. You can either pick to go to Zepho or Dathomir. The goal is to track down Jedi Master Eno Cordova, who's in the midst of searching for the lost secrets of the Jedi Order. Now, the planet Zepho, I believe, is located on the Outer Rim territories. It is filled with rocky mountains, cliffs, and grasslands, and it is home to a number of ruins and crypts that were protected by the Tomb Guardian. So this planet seems like it will be a gorgeous sight to behold, with many secrets to discover. And more interesting, we have Dathomir, home to the one and only Darth Maul, as well as the Night Sisters, who are Force-trained individuals but aren't considered Jedi or Sith in any form. You can look at them as witches of some type. Now, this planet is very remote, and it's covered in swamps, vegetation, burnt forests, and landscapes. This is basically a dead planet. It's another planet that we haven't really been able to explore in a Star Wars game. So this will prove to be pretty damn intriguing. I can't wait to explore Dathomir. It is probably one of my favorite planets in the franchise. It is home to many different unique individuals, including Darth Maul, so I can't wait to see what kind of enemies lie in wait for us here. So these will act as our 2 starter planets, very similar to how KOTOR has done their story in the past, which actually gets me even more hyped up to play this game. It isn't exactly an on-rails game. You can explore the game at your own pace, but that doesn't mean every planet has the same difficulty. Some will be harder to explore than others. Finally, we have Kashyyyk, which is of course the home of the Wookiees and a planet filled with pure forests. This planet is probably one of the more well-known ones in the universe, appearing in multiple games and TV shows, including KOTOR, so no explanation is really needed for it. The best part, that this isn't even every planet that we'll be visiting on our adventure to find the secrets of the now extinct Jedi Order. There will be others, but they aren't known, and honestly, I love it that way. I want to be surprised by where this game might take us. However, my favorite aspect of this game is the sheer possibilities of the villains we may encounter. We know of 2 Inquisitors so far, the Ninth Sister and Second Sister. If you're unaware, Inquisitors are trained for the sole purpose of hunting down the remaining Jedi, and Cal Kestis will have to manage to try to invade them or defeat them. Again, we aren't some strong Jedi. We are only a Padawan with little experience, so this may prove to be a difficult task. I can't wait to see how Cal adapts to the Jedi ways and how he copes with the dark side of the Force. Now, this is just the basics of the game. There's so much more to describe, but to save time, it might be best to move on and talk about some of the things I left out in my first video. Now, the point I want to make clear the most, I've already kind of covered it, but I gotta say it again. If Jedi Fallen Order does well, it will show everyone that single-player Star Wars titles can still be top dog, and may even lead to more of these unique experiences being released later down the road, maybe even another KOTOR title or something similar. And I've got no doubt in my mind that this game will perform very, very well. I think this game will actually surpass people's expectations, and they're already pretty high. One thing I don't think I put enough emphasis on is the beauty of the game. While the graphics aren't the best, the environments and temples seem to be so damn gorgeous. It seems very Star Wars-like, and that's a very good thing. And the fact we have only 4 planets we know about is getting me even more hyped up. I want to see what this game will bring to the table. The map design also seems to be very well done, but I can't say that for sure until I get my hands on the game. A big aspect of Star Wars, arguably the biggest, are the legendary characters, enemies, and lore. And with Jedi Fallen Order, this is no different. In fact, some enemies and characters were created with the sole purpose of this game in mind. One example of this is the Purge Troopers, who are basically a few tiers below an Inquisitor, but has the same goal and similar training to take down the Jedi. And with all these planets and new faces, it's a safe bet we will have new lore to accompany it. One thing I noticed while watching some gameplay is that we can actually scan fallen enemies for information. This shows us that we might actually have a bestiary or lore book of some type, and that's just another bonus this game will be gifting to us. I love this system in any game, especially a Star Wars title. Apparently there won't be any actual loading screens, not technically. This was talked about by Respawn themselves. While that isn't exactly the entire truth, there will be loading screens, but they will be hidden, kinda similar to how God of War is, but not exact. There's so many more things to discuss about Jedi Fallen Order, the force powers at our disposal, the sheer amount of strategy that this game allows in combat, and much more, but I'll have to save that for another video. Now this game is coming out in less than a week, so this may be the last video until release, unless you guys have something else you'd like me to cover. If so, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I do realize I left out a lot of information in this video. That was purposely done. I don't want to give too much away. That being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video and watching my channel. If you're a new viewer, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see Jedi Fallen Order on release and watch my coverage of it, and other games too. If you have any other games you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely consider it. Thank you guys again so much for wasting your time with me today. I greatly appreciate it. You have no idea. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out of here.